Mark, and today we are going to be talking about the Ukrainian Independence Day. On August 24, we came together with the Prince Edward Island Ukrainian community, represented by the PEI Ukrainian Canadian Congress branch, celebrate Ukraine's Independence Day. 34 years ago, in 1991, Ukraine's parliament declared an indivisible, sovereign democratic state, fulfilling the timeless right of the Ukrainian people to self-determination. This year marks the 11th Independence Day, celebrated while Russia wages its war against Ukraine, and the fourth since the beginning of the full-scale invasion. And yet, Ukraine stands, Kyiv is free, the Ukrainian people remain united in courage and strength and in unshakable resilience. At Town City Hall, a flag-raising ceremony and the solemn minute of silence honored those who gave their lives for freedom, humanity, and democracy. The day also carried a spirit of joy, unity, and with a vibrant flash mob bringing people together. Mayor Philip Brown joined the gathering, showing his support for Ukrainians living on the island. My name is Mark.
My name is Philip Brown, Office of the Mayor, City of Charlottetown.
I'm going to ask some questions. Why is solidarity with Ukraine especially meaningful in today's global context?
It's very important because we're talking about humanity, and we all have to be together. We have to stay united, and being united includes working across borders. So Canada working with Ukraine, Ukraine working with Canada, Ukraine working with the European community and the world community. That's what's important. So humanity is our first and foremost reason to work with Ukraine, especially today being its Independence Day from Russia back in 1991. Russia attacked an independent country more than 3 years ago. Almost 1.5 million people are dead. Off that 1.5 million, 950,000 Russians. And as I said, speaking to the audience today, when is enough enough? And I think it is at a point where the world leaders have to get together, including local leaders, and speak for Ukraine to say, end this war and let's find peace going forward.
How does recognizing Ukraine's Independence Day connect to broader principles like freedom, democracy, and sovereignty?
Sovereignty. So we here in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, Canada, is a sovereign country. That's like if the Americans attacked Canada, I'm sure there would be a world outcry to help us defend ourselves. The same is happening in Ukraine. It's a sovereign country that received its independence from the Russians back in 1991. Here we are 34 years later, still talking about their state as a sovereign state from Russia. And why do we have to keep fighting? Because Russia wants to take it over again. There's no need for that. Ukraine is a sovereign nation just like Canada, and Canada should be there to help protect its sovereignty.
Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to ask you questions. We're going to move on to the next person.
Yeah, thank you very much, and a great interview. You guys are doing a great job.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Mark.
Hi, Mark. I'm Bernadette.
I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
What does Ukrainian Independence Day mean to you personally?
For me personally, my hope is that Ukrainian Independence Day next year, that everyone will be living in peace.
How do you usually celebrate August 24th?
Well, I usually come to Charlottetown City Hall, and I'm with all my Ukrainian friends.
Why do you think Independence Day is especially important for Ukrainians today?
Well, since all of these Ukrainian people are not in Ukraine anymore, their homeland is being attacked by Russia. It must be very difficult to have Independence Day come along and not be able to be part of the celebrations at home in Ukraine. So that is why many Canadians want to support them and come and join this group today.
Hello. My name is Mark. What is yours?
Hi, I'm Tatiana.
I'm gonna ask you a few questions.
Yeah, sure.
How has your perspective on Ukrainian independence changed over the years?
Over the years? Well, when I've been living in Ukraine, actually, I lived there before, of course, the full scale invasion. And in general, I lived in Ukraine before the 2014 invasion. And in my hometown, it just used to be something that, it's just there. I was born already when Ukraine was independent. So my perspective, of course, isn't like those people who lived there earlier. But when I was in Ukraine, you just treated it as, the independence is just there. Now I understand that it's something that we're actively fighting on, that it just doesn't exist. People aren't going to give you your freedom and your country. You actually have to fight for it to exist.
What traditions from Ukraine do you keep alive on this day?
Oh, actually, quite a lot. I'm going to say that, again, now as I know how difficult it is to actually have a freedom in our lives, I started to appreciate my culture so much more through the years. I constantly wear Ukrainian embroidered vyshyvanka shirts. I absolutely love them. So far, I have 9. I wish I could have more. I always keep flags in my apartment. I have 2 flags with signatures of either famous Ukrainian singers or volunteers with whom I work with. I learned how to make Ukrainian traditional necklaces, selenka necklaces, and I also been mastering Ukrainian Easter egg painting techniques. So I would say that in general, I've been reconnecting with my culture quite a lot after I understood how difficult it is actually for Ukrainians to keep it and preserve it. Because no one gives you your freedom. You have to actually fight for your freedom.
Thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you so much.
In this meaningful occasion, it was a celebration filled with friendship, solidarity, and hope. Today we stand with Ukraine, because their fight is not only for their freedom, but for all the freedom of us. Слава Україні! Героям слава!